about 6:17 and time now for what's trending. Well, if you've ever wanted a good excuse to hop off a Zoom call, there's a new tool called the Zoom Escaper to actually help you out. In fact, you can make yourself so annoying that no one will ever want you on their Zoom calls again. From a cat in the courtroom to a cat in your shot, Zoom has zoomed right over some of our heads. But who needs real technical issues when there's this? Digital artist Sam Levine is the creator of a free tool called the Zoom Escaper. And now, if you can't screw up on your own, let the Zoom Escaper do it for you with everything from a bad connection to barking dogs to construction noises and even to a weeping man. So you can have all of these scenes and scenarios going on in the background of your Zoom call. I think this is hilarious. I've mostly just used Zoom for working, connecting with people, actually connecting with some friends and doing a virtual birthday party. And I've had nothing but good experiences, but I understand that a lot of people are just stuck in Zoom meetings, Zoom classes all the time. It's getting overwhelming, and people are getting Zoom fatigue. I even heard that term thrown around before. So I think this is a hilarious way around it, but I don't know how happy employers would be maybe to see people getting out of this as this gains popularity.
That is hilarious. The one with the cat, that was the one that just sent me just now. I had to hold myself together. But I mean, this does happen anyway. So right. It's really interesting now that you can kind of, just make it happen on your own. I know a lot of people are trying to escape too, so I won't say it, but I might use maybe one of those. But yeah, which one would you use, Devin?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know, because I haven't had to sit through a whole lot of Zoom calls, thankfully. But otherwise, if I had to sit through a whole lot of them, and I don't know, all of them sounds good. But honestly, me being a furry child lover, I would go for the pet one, like a cat walking across the camera, as you saw in the video, or some of the other ones. I know, Peter, you have Simba, so you could even use maybe some live entertainment there.
Yeah, I got a real excuse to hop off a call, I think. That's funny.
Yeah, that's definitely strange, but interesting. And something else that's pretty strange, one of the strange events of nature flew into the Cleveland area today. Just like every March 15th, people braved the cold temperatures and gathered in a Cleveland City Park to welcome back the famous Buzzards. Every year, for as long as anyone can remember, a group of buzzards come back to this same spot on this same day. In fact, they always start arriving just after the sun comes up. People first started noticing the pattern in the late 1950s, but they're not really sure how long the birds have been doing this. The park has been dubbed Buzzard Roost. Officially, the buzzards are turkey vultures, according to the experts. While other areas look for cherry blossoms and dogwoods to bloom, the first sign of buzzard means spring is on the way for this location, which is just so interesting. I mean, I've never heard of this, first of all, but just to see a pack of buzzards, personally for me, I would run away. So I don't really know what my reaction would be right away, but it's really interesting though. It's unique that this is the way that the community can say, okay, well, spring temperatures are going to be on the way. Right,
and it's so strange that every year on the same day, they seem to come back to the same spot, right? And
right.
It makes you think, how can these animals even know what time of year exactly? I mean, obviously, I'm sure they understand the transition from winter to spring, but to know the exact date is pretty interesting, and so it's cool. I think it's a really neat tradition.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really kind of shocked to kind of see this. It's really cool to see. I know each area has their own kind of bragging rights. I know, like Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania has Punxsutawney Phil. This is kind of something that Cleveland can kind of brag about. It's really cool to see just these animals coming back on the exact day. So really cool to see. And keeping the spring theme going, to talk about bees. A beekeeper is looking to educate the masses about bees, and she's not just she isn't just using her head, she's using her hands. This Texas woman's barehanded bee handling has the internet buzzing. Beekeeper Erica Thompson is on a mission to save her pollinator pals. The founder of Texas Bee Works offers for higher bee harvesting and removal, as well as education about these important insects. But it's the fact that Thompson often doesn't wear any protective gear when handling bees. That's made her a social media star, and that star status is helping her spread her message. Thompson hopes to encourage others to get involved in protecting bees by dispelling their sting-happy stigma. And yeah, I mean, I got to do a story about honeybees. I think it was last year, if I remember right, over at Hanson's Honey Farm here in town. And yeah, I mean, honeybees, the European honeybees, very gentle. And I know the handlers over there, they usually don't have to wear bee suits that often because European honeybees are usually so gentle as long as you don't make them mad.
Right, yeah, it's really cool. I wonder what the sensation is like just to scoop up a handful of bees in your hand. It's right there. I mean, I can't imagine what that feels like. I don't really know if I want to know, but nevertheless, she's doing great work, and it's really cool to see her spreading awareness in this way. I saw her videos circulating on social media before, and I think it is really cool. I actually had the opportunity to go to a local cranberry marsh at Lake Nokomis, where they bring in millions of bees every single year to pollinate their marshes. And I stood next to just one of their hives that had millions of bees in it, just to do a little shot there, and they were totally fine. They were buzzing all around me, but I never felt like they were going to attack me.
Well, that's interesting. And like you said, I commend her completely. But one thing, I love honey, but I do not like bugs. So I can't even imagine holding a palm full of bees. Like that just creeps me out.